Ahoj! In the previous video, we talked about what grammatical gender is, and I gave you a few examples on how it works in Czech. We also learned that in most cases, the grammatical gender is not logical, and we just need to learn it by heart. But today, I want to share with you a few simple rules that will help you determine it pretty easily. You just need to learn the rules and then to practice. All you have to do is to look at the ending of the noun in the nominative singular. The nominative singular is the very basic form of the noun. It's the form that you find if you look up a word in the dictionary. Now, if you are looking for a very basic and simplified rule to determine the gender, you can remember that masculine nouns typically end in a consonant, feminine nouns typically end in a, and neuter nouns typically end in o. However, this simpler rule doesn't always work, so let's have a closer look at all these rules and possible endings. As I said, when you see a noun that ends in a consonant, it's probably masculine. For example, obchod, dům, čaj, student. Here, obchod, dům and čaj will be masculine inanimate because these are not living objects, and student will be masculine animate because it's a person. But this word could also be feminine, especially if it ends in a soft consonant, as in tramvaj or kancelář. Soft consonants are all consonants that have the little hook above. We call it háček, plus C and J. Also, if the word ends in ost, it's very likely a feminine noun. These words ending in ost usually have an abstract meaning, for example, radost or zodpovědnost. In a few cases, a word ending in a consonant could also be neuter, especially if it ends in as in centrum or muzeum. Now, when a word ends in a, it's very likely a feminine noun, as in Praha, voda, kavárna. But this word could also be masculine, and this often happens when you talk about surnames or professions. For example, smetana, turista, kolega. And occasionally this word could also be neuter, as in téma. And finally, when the word ends in o, you can be almost sure it's neuter. For example, kino, město, pivo. When the word ends in e or ie, e with háček, it's very likely a feminine noun. For example, restaurace. And especially if it ends in ice or ině, as in silnice or kolegyně. And if it ends in ie, for example, galerie, demokracie, then it's always feminine. In some cases, this word could also be neuter, for example, kuře or parkoviště. And if the ending is iště, then it's always neuter. For example, letiště. And this word could also be a masculine noun, and in this case it would often be a person's surname or a profession. For example, Kubice or průvodce. And finally, if the word ends in e, you can be very confident is neuter. For example, nádraží or náměstí. Only if the word describes a person and his or her occupation, then it's gonna be either feminine or masculine, depending on the gender of the person. So, for example, the word recepční can be either a male receptionist and a masculine noun, or a female receptionist and a feminine noun. So, that's it for this video. This was the theory, and now we need to practice. Next time, in the last video on gender, I will give you some tips on how to proceed when learning a new noun in Czech, and I'm gonna share with you where and how you can look the gender up if you are not sure about your answer. Finally, I have a short exercise for you. I will give you a list of Czech nouns, and your task will be to write them in the comments together with their gender. to check if you understood all the rules correctly. To je všechno, zatím se mějte hezky. Ahoj.